would like to welcome Olive up on the stage. So we are moving from the US perspective with bankers and digging into the details of data.
Yes.
And Oliver, first maybe I should say a couple of words about you. You are the general manager of Pilot Group, one of the leading independent agencies in Germany. You have pioneered the market, and I guess you're going to understand, where I'm coming from when I'm saying that. But I'm super interested now to understand what's your take today.
So first of all, I have to say, I realized 3 things today. First of all, how are the clients feeling when they don't understand what is presented? So all the acronyms, when we are talking to our clients, we have so many acronyms in our technical world. Thank you for that, first of all. Second of all, I'm the outsider today. Neither am I a banker, neither am I an investor, neither am I the techie guy. I'm a historian, came into the agency world, yeah. And the third one is the most funny one for me. I don't have text today on my slides. I'm the one who has I would say, just a few words on the slides. So, yeah, and our take is from the German perspective, looking at the industry. Jay, you told it before, the agencies don't want to work with the scattered market, but I have to correct you. We love to talk to the scattered market because this is our business model. We are consultancies for our clients, yes, please. But what we don't want to do is to work with all of them. That's a little bit too much for us. We can't handle that. But today I want to present you why we are there, what you hear today about the cookies, the cookie collapse, and so on.
Yeah.
And this is our perspective.
Looking forward to. So over to you. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So let us start the journey with the Big Bang. In 1996, they invented the advertising cookie, and it was double click back then. Thank you for that double click. And we almost came to the point that we achieved the perfect world. We could talk to the right person at the right time, with the right message, and with the right frequency. But instead, to stay at this route, as it always happens when the market is not regulated, we ended up by having more than 1,000 cookies per day per person. What for? The question is 1,000 cookies per day per person. That's a lot of data that is in the market right now. And one of the reasons why we ended up with this is because the market developed itself. We saw the slide multiple times, but now I'm showing you the development in time. We started 2011 with 150 companies working with cookies. Now, 2023, we are at more than 11,000 companies working and based on cookies. So that means nobody in this room, neither me, even when I'm talking to my clients a lot of time about this, knows exactly what is with the cookie world, who's using it, how, what for, and where are they stored those data sets. And then something else happened. A telco company in the US came to a good idea to help the market and create the super cookie. So the super cookie was an invention to track everything in terms of who you are, what you like, what you're seeing, what you're reading, and so on and so on. The only thing they forgot was to ask you for your consent. So 2016, they got fined for that. And what they did is they lost the trust of the people in terms of why should we use data still and why we should use the cookie. But if we look at the real world, as in comparison, everything that I said is not new to us. Think of the loyalty cards, yeah? We give our data to somebody, but we get something in return. Think of governmental data. You can't hide. They exactly know who's married, how many kids, where are you living, and so on and so on. But we are not combining this with advertisement, so it's not disturbing us and we can't run away from it. So, and then Jeff, thank you for being a data collector. Yeah. So data collectors on the other side, and I make my Let's state it this way. When I was young and went to Miami to rent a car, I gave them my real address, my real telephone number, and my real email address. What happened? I got so many frequent calls from I don't know where, and I got so many junk emails, but it wasn't that issue or problem for me. I could solve it by myself because it was easy. Block them or get rid of the phone number and so on and so on. But this is common and frequent in our world right now. So let's summarize quickly the cookie world. We forgot who's using it for what and why, and also we lost the trust in it. And that's the reason why a bunch of guys in Europe came together and said, we need to end this. We need to end this, and it's not about the business. They don't thought about the business. They clearly thought about how to change it. And that's why we developed in Europe the GDPR back in 2018. And some guys in California said, hey, that's cool. We want to have the same. So they came up with the CCPA in 2020. And both of them are really saying that they want to get the active user consent for everything that we are collecting as a data set. If you don't do it like this, you will be fined. And this means that they wanted to put us as a user into the charge of deciding to whom to give our data sets and what for. But as history repeats itself, we got now into a phase where we see that everything develops likely like the cookie business right now. We have multiple ID solutions in the market. We have multiple consent solutions in the market. Multiple CDP, and now I'm throwing acronyms at you, yeah, just to be a little bit fair. No, but we have multiple technologies who are working on behalf of this. And with this said, this means that the complexity, again, for us as a user, is much higher than it has to be. So again, I need to know where did I give my data to whom and what for and so on, and I can't just declick it and say, don't track me anymore. Yeah, and then also, Jeff, thank you for that. Now we are changing a cookie, which is anonymized, to my email address. Who in this room changed his email address in the last 12 months? I would say nobody. Who of you changed the mobile identifier? Jeff, you should now raise your hand because I know you changed it, but recently nobody. So this is how relevant it is to know where you give your data and how to deselect out of all these data sets. But a lot of people in the business are talking about what to do. How can we emerge this? How can we get past of this issue? And they are saying, oh, look, our easy to use cases are now vanishing. I mean, the cookie world was easy to use for us, easy to target and so on. Now the ID world, it's easy to use it, but it's damn hard to scale it. Yeah, scaling is a different part than just using it and knowing how to use it. But in this world, we need to wake up and realize that we have so many data points right now in the universe. So many data points we can work on. And that's why I love to have this point on the Verve presentation, that data is one point of the invention that you are seeking for. And from the agency perspective, I just wanted to show you some of them which we are using, and then I will present you some numbers on cases that we achieved already. And today I brought with me the contextual data targeting, first-party data targeting like IDs or like cohorts built upon the first-party data, behavioral data, which is probabilistic data, and then also regional data. And regional data, I want to stop there because a lot of people think regional data is vintage data, outdated, you don't use it anymore, and so on. Today I will prove that it isn't. But let's start with contextual data. Think of Porsche, and think of Porsche doing a performance campaign. So they really want to sell a Porsche. And when you use contextual, you would say you want to be on any site where somebody is reading about luxury cars, and you would be on any side where somebody is reading about Porsche. So on the left side, where you see the green and the red squares, this is how the campaign would target Germany. Everybody who's reading about luxury cars would get an advertisement of Porsche for the performance campaign. Sadly, I have to acknowledge, not everybody can afford a Porsche. But everybody in Germany loves to read about luxury cars. With that said, you need to think of it that somebody who hasn't the money to buy a Porsche still gets the advertisement. And when you think of it, that you can now stack a layer system on the contextual targeting in the terms of taking regional insights that we have, who is living where, and also in Stockholm, I think you have parts of the city where the people don't have the money to buy a Porsche, and you have a lot of parts of the city where you have people who can afford a Porsche. So rather than taking all of Stockholm and target those who read the article about luxury cars, go there where the people live who can afford the Porsche and give just them the advertisement. It's more performant, it's better for the budget that you're spending, and this is one way how the layering could work and be much more efficient in terms of how to use data sets. Then I brought a case that we did with Verve, and just to show you how you can change something that is obvious and do something that nobody did worldwide right now. And this is, we took with a partner and Verve first-party data out of the CRM and built in real time, oops, I hope your phone is still intact, or you have a good insurance. So think of it. Instead of doing DCO, dynamic creative optimization, we changed to adaptive creative optimization. Why do we say adaptive? Because we look in real time in cohorts of the CRM. So we are looking who's buying what, from where, at which time, on which day, and so on and so on. And the information that we are matching to that, we are taking out of the bit stream of the SSP, for example, from Verve. So we take all the information that we have, match it to the CRM system, and then we are looking the possibility and the likeliness, so the index of the buying possibility. So instead of serving everybody the same advertisement, in this case the red one, we are looking who has the highest likeliness to buy the white one. And then adaptively we correct the advertisement and we send to this guy or to this girl, I don't know how to do it in English, we have this in Germany, to be always correct in terms of guy and girl, but egal. And we send them out the white one. Why? Because the likeliness that he will buy something is much higher. And this is what we proved with several cases that we already did. So we proved that we can achieve an overall conversion rate uplift with 4.9 percentages. And we got, when we looked 2 years back in the data sets of the clients that we did this case for one of them, we in average get 506 new clients, and this is not a small number for the client. 506 new clients just for a period of 2 weeks. So the campaign that we tested here for the one was 2 weeks long, which is a good result. And then a case for you with regional data. What we did with Verve was how can we enrich regional data with geographical affinities and intents. So we looked at the room like the Porsche example, and we wanted to see what else can we get to the table so that we know exactly how to improve regional data and the performance of our campaigns. And this is what we do for 40 clients of ours already, and proving, and those numbers that I'm showing here are just the average numbers that we are achieving. But what we can see is that when you take out of the bit stream who's reading what in which region, if you take out who is opening which app in which region, and if you take out, this is something that we also do, who's getting which email in which region, you're getting insights that you never got before. And this is where you can really dig out the performance of any campaign and ramp it up. And by saying this, we really achieve better campaigns, not only in the digital world from CTV to display campaigns, but also on search, also on social, which is really powerful. So the data sets that we are now working with are really cross-channel and can be used cross-channel. And thanks for Verve, we also achieved to do something that will vanish, as Jeff also said today. So the one point that you always need to keep in mind, nothing matters if you can't prove it. Nothing matters if you can't show it to the client. So if you can't show that your attribution or your thing that you build it up is working, who's believing you? I can tell maybe a good story, but it's not showing the numbers that the clients want. So we achieved attribution which can show you how well spent is your money and how well it could work for you within detailed regions that we are analyzing and measuring by the ad impressions that you're serving in those regions. With that said, this means that think of 2 rooms. I will give you an example. Think of 2 rooms. You have room A, where 100 people live, with 53 people from your target group. And think of room B. You have 100 people living there, but just 2 of them are from your target group. And now you have 100 euros that you distribute equally to room A and B. 50 euro in room A has a mathematical possibility of 53% to hit. In room B, just 2%. Where would you like to spend your money? In A, yeah. But the fun part is nobody's looking at this detail. Right now, nobody's looking at this detail because they don't have the data sets as we have with Worth. Thank you for that. But also nobody knows about that. So in terms, and I can tell you just the internal numbers because I'm really digging deep in those numbers right now. For example, social with Meta and also Google spends more than 30% in rooms that are based like B. But they have so much performance power right now that they can serve you the whole campaign as a success and you say, yeah, wow, that was a great campaign, but your budget could be more efficient. And this is what we are doing as an agency right now. We are trying always to be on the side of the client in terms of how can we use technology, how can we do different solutions in the market. And yeah, that's where we come to the end of today, of my presentation, where I have to say I'm really thankful for that I have such a partner right now on my side, which is nimble, fast, understanding the data that they have, sharing the data, so that we can also be innovative. And thank you for that. Remco also, Sam, all the Verve group, thank you for having me.
Thank you, Olive.